Okay, boys. Okay, let's do this. Where's my spreadsheet at? Okay, boys, we're gonna be going over my favorite investments for this upcoming roster update. If we go up here to schedule, so it doesn't say we're getting a roster update this week, which would be like we thinking maybe like, hey, they didn't put anything for Thursday. Maybe they're just gonna like tell us last second. It doesn't seem to be the case, but Reynolds and like a couple other guys about who should like go up. So I was thinking or like supercharged. I think that's what it was. But I think they will be doing a roster update next week because we have now like had like a good couple weeks of baseball. So these are kind of my investments I'm doing right now. Honestly, Orioles have a lot of really good like investments. Hayes, he cooled down, but I still think he's a lock to go gold. Like he's still hitting over 300 and he has silver defense. He really doesn't need a ton to go up. Adam Frazier's down here. I think he's going to go like 78, 79. I think he's going to be on the cusp of going gold very soon. With gold defense and hitting like 400 or like 360, I think like just contacts wise with gold defense, it's a pretty low risk, but he's like kind of cheap. I probably invest in him a little bit if like a couple of my other investments kind of go south. Rushman, I wish I would have invested in him when he was at 1600. Like I don't know why he went down to 1600. I was like, and he was sitting 295 with diamond defense. But if he goes down, invest in him. Jorge Mateo is not a bad investment either. He has been hitting better. He's kind of iffy sometimes, but inconsistent. But I want to invest in him just yet. But if his price does go down past this 126 mark, I don't know why that's different. Invest in him. Ryan Mountcastle's on a breakout right now, but he's just not investable right now. There's no one really on here except maybe Kenley Jansen. He hasn't been bad, but he could only go up like one or two overalls. I want to say Devers, but Devers is just so offensively like that's where he's like dependent. He can't really go up unless he's batting insanely good. This team's interesting. What's his name? Yeah, so Kyle Higafkis or whatever. Him and Jose Trevino, keep an eye on their like stats because whenever they're hitting a little bit better, they barely need anything to go up in overall. Like, I mean, like they don't need anything to go up in overall. Like they're both basically 79s. So if you check their hitting, like I would check it like at the point because it's pretty like they're kind of inconsistent, but they were hitting like 250 plus I think. So if they're hitting a little bit better with like their defense, they're like guys who could just go gold. Like that's really it. Johnny Brito is a very good investment, even at 51 stubs. He's had like a 0 ERA and like 3 starts or like 2 starts, so he's like a long-term investment and just being like look at his stats, they're awful. They just have to go up a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. He could definitely go up 17 overalls plus throughout the year. Jim Cordero, he's been pretty good actually. I invested in him just because he's super cheap. I should have invested in Johnny Brito, but I invested in him instead. I was kind of stupid for that, but he hasn't been bad. He's next up we have Drew Rasmussen. I can't say his name. Rasmussen. He's been striking out a bunch of guys. Has a low ERA. His price is already kind of like inflated, but 81 still for 600, I'm pretty sure, and he's selling for 900. So he's like right now going for like what a 82 should go for, just about a quick sell value. Definitely is not a bad investment. Maybe I think he plays against the Athletics his next start, so they're pretty bad. So he definitely has room to go up if he pitches good. Jeffrey Springs has been dominant to start off the year, but I don't. Maybe he goes gold, and then you want to invest in him just because if he keeps it up, he'll probably go diamond at some point. Randy's been pretty good, but he's not really investable just because of his defense and his price point right now. I'd keep an eye on Yandy. Because if Yandy just really needs to like hit a little bit better, then he'll be going gold. Jose Siri's been pretty good with diamond defense. He's a really low risk. Even at his price point, I would still invest in him if he hits about 125. That seems like a pretty good or reasonable price point, but it's up to you as it always is. I don't know. Isaac Padres, he was really good last year. They gave him like gold defense middle of the year. They don't do the gold. They won't do the defensive update anytime soon until like middle of the year. But what I will say is keep an eye on his like defense because he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on for defense when they do the defensive update. Because if he gets gold defense, he's a gold. Like that's kind of how it is. He went up like 7 overalls, like real quick at the end of like last year. So he's definitely like a really good investment. Ryan Thompson's also a guy I'm invested a little bit into. He's been a really good reliever for this team. It seems like about every year this team has like a couple guys just pop off as relievers, kind of like with Peter Fairbanks and Pete Fairbanks and Jason Adam. They weren't as good as they were like the year before. Last year they were not as good, and then this year they just kind of popped up. Wander Franco's been very good, obviously, but kind of at that point where you just can't invest in him. Uh, Kevin Gosman's been insane. Don't know why his price is still what it is. I would invest in him. He's gonna be a Cy Young candidate. I would still think he goes gold. It depends really just how much stubs you have on you right now. That's kind of why I haven't invested in some of these higher guys. Like Vlad's gonna go up no matter what. I have a bunch of Dalton Varshows. I don't know why he's gonna be a 79, but a lot of people are invested in him or gonna invest in him for good reason because he's hitting like 300-ish right now with diamond defense. Like he's gonna go up. Like he doesn't really need much. He just needs to hit a little bit better, and he'll go up. Cause I'm thinking right now, I didn't check what he was at today, but I know a couple of days ago he was at above 300. So I'm just checking real quick again. I don't know why Microsoft Edge is such a bitch, but it is a bitch. And we have Matt Chapman. He's gonna go up, but he's uninvestable at his price point currently. Yeah, and Dalton Varsho is hitting 289, so he's like one hit shy of 300. So he's definitely not a bad investment. I also had Kevin Killmeyer in here, but I don't know if you want to invest in him right now. He's a diamond defense, which and he's hitting for average. Eric Swanson, also a guy I believe in, going up. He did really good last year for the Mariners, and that's kind of like he was a big trade piece when they traded to get Teoscar Hernandez. So he's definitely a good investment in my opinion. There's no one on these teams. Okay, well yeah, we have Andres Jimenez. This guy was selling for 2,200 stubs a few days ago. He jumped up, had a huge price jump as you can see. Um, yeah, because he's been playing really good lately, and I mean there's not really much he needs to go up. He just needs to hit a little bit better. As you can see, he gets plus 11 against both righties on power and contact. He goes up to a diamond. That's kind of like what you're looking for with him. He's definitely a guy who's has diamond potential, and I think he's hitting over 300 currently. So he definitely feels like even he could just get boosted in contacts versus lefties, which he's been hitting great against to start off the year, and he's hit for a little bit of power. So he doesn't really need much to go up, and I definitely think he will go diamond. That's why I'm just holding on to my 40 of him. Otherwise, I really should have sold when he was at 2,200 and then just reinvested, but I didn't do that. Trevor Stevens been pretty good too. Start off the year. I don't know if you want to invest in him because he's a relief pitcher, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer to go up. But Miles Straw's a guy I got in kind of early on. He's been hitting over 300 with gold defense. That's just amazing. Like when you find a guy who's hitting really good, like you check stats, right, and they have gold defense or diamond defense, and then they're like this like can't cuss on YouTube. I already cussed earlier, but whenever they're like hitting stats are just awful and their defense is amazing, but they're hitting good in real life, they're gonna get boosted pretty quick. So he could go gold in like 2 updates. He just has to keep pitching at a good rate. And then Eli Morgan's also been pretty good to start off this year, but he's also a relief pitcher. Like I love relief pitchers, but sometimes it just take a lot longer to like go up overall. Um, I don't think I had anyone on there. Oh yeah, I had Adolis Chapman, but he's kind of uninvestable right now. He's also a lefty who they don't have outlier on him yet, but he probably will get outlier eventually. Who was it on here? Joe Ryan's actually been pretty good. not a bad investment at all. Who else was it? Sonny Gray's been pretty good. Uh, Kenta Mada, I don't know how you say his name. He's been actually really good to start off the year. He's like a 0 ERA and he's been getting strikeouts. So he's not a bad investment at all. He's definitely got potential to go gold in a few updates if he keeps his trajectory up. Tyler Malley is also on this team. He's been pretty solid. The thing is with Tyler Malley is he's such a weird pitcher because he's really good and then he's really bad. So you gotta get him when he's really good because he'll go gold. But when he's bad, he'll just be like a 75. He's so weird, but he's been playing good and bad to start off the year. Christian Vasquez also is a guy you want to keep your eye on. I believe he has silver defense. He's not really like a guy that needs a whole bunch to go up. Like that's just kind of his thing. Let's me check his hitting real quick. Vasquez, Christian. Yeah, no, wrong guy, dude. Why is there 3 guys in the MLB with the name Christian Vasquez? That's kind of crazy. Christian Vasquez. Sorry about this. Yeah, he's hitting currently three good, and I'm probably actually gonna buy a good amount of him after this video I get done. Framber Valdez hasn't been bad. He's been giving up hits, that's his issue, but he's been striking guys out, and he's been playing long innings, and he's been giving up barely any runs. So that's kind of like, I kind of think he's a good investment. We also have Corey Julks, who's down in price, which is nice because he's been very good this year, and he's been kind of replacing what's his name, Jose Altuve, who's injured for a couple more months. So if really he keeps hitting good, and I think he's been pretty solid defensively. So whenever the defensive update comes around, if you have like just a bunch of them stored up, because you can buy them for like 10 stubs, probably when you're seeing this video, if you want to, you can just buy a ton of him and then hold on to him for like a couple months, and then whenever that defensive roster update comes around, you may be able to make millions of stubs if you just hold on that long if he works out. Also, where's he at? Hunter Brown. Keep an eye out on Hunter Brown. He's at 70 stubs. He had a bad first start, but a lot of people were like kind of expecting him to go off like he did last year at the end of the year. He didn't do that. He gave a bunch of runs, but he is basically a baby Verlander, so he's not a bad investment. Just keep an eye out on his price. If he drops below like 50 stubs, buy him then. But I don't know about right now. Hunter Renfroe has been playing a lot better. Uh, gold hitting, silver defense. He doesn't really need a whole lot to go. I don't know. He doesn't really need a whole lot to go diamond. Like last year, he went diamond at the end of the year. He's hitting 295 with 3 home runs and a 972 OPS, and he has 9 RBIs. He's been playing a lot better recently. He's been heating up, and his defense is just good enough where I feel like hitting 295, 3 home runs. I expect him to be hitting around 280 to 300 something, like 310, with probably about 5 home runs or 6 whenever the roster update comes around, because he plays against the Athletics like a decent amount, so he can definitely get home runs. Also, Taylor Ward's been pretty good, but he's cooled down. Keep an eye on Brandon Drury. He hasn't been awful. And then Gio Urshela has been hitting over 300, so if that's a guy you want to invest in, he's definitely not a bad investment. And then there's someone else, I think it's like one of their pitchers has been really good. That's like a lower overall. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's somewhere in here. Is like one of their pitchers. Like I don't know who the hell it was, but he is playing really good. Luis Castillo. I'm trying to buy him. I have 100 orders in for him right now. He's been very good. He had like one like decent start against the Cubs, and all his other starts have been amazing. So that's the reason his price kind of went down. Otherwise, he'd be like 1,200 ish. But like they gave up 2 runs against the Cubs. That's not good. Dude, he's had his other 2 starts have been amazing, and he just had a decent start. There's nothing wrong with having a decent start and then 2 amazing starts. People are just expecting him to stay amazing. That's not how baseball works. That's not ever going to happen. And then Suarez, he's like top 5 in average or like top 10 in average. this season, so he's definitely not a bad investment. Keep an eye on Logan Gilbert. His price is up today, but that's because he has his game today. Cal Raleigh, like I said, keep an eye out on catchers with good defense because like he's hitting like 250 ish, and but he hasn't been hitting for as much power, which scares me because they could DOS him on power, and then he wouldn't hit gold. But really, like, look, he just needs +7 power against righties and contact, and he goes 81. So you like that'd be like a 81 600. So you'd be making 400 stubs on each buy. It's really not bad. Um, I was keeping an eye on Adolis Garcia. I had like 300 of him, and then he just got in a hitting slump. And he's playing awful. Like, keep an eye on this guy, because if he starts hitting better again, I will invest in him again because he has diamond defense. He's got everything you want to invest in. He just needs to hit better. Um, I had a bunch of AJ Minters, but then he like shit the bed one game, so he was playing amazing. Then he just crapped himself. Travis d'Arnaud, he's been pretty good this year, hitting over 300. He has cooled down a little bit lately, but he's still a guy who I think can go up in overall. Sean Murphy hit his first home run of the season a couple days ago. He's heating up. Doesn't really need much to go 81, so if you just want to make like 200 stubs each one, it's not awful. But I wouldn't do him right now unless you're keeping up on his start. Who was I looking at? Orlando Arcia has been playing really good. He's cooled down a little bit, but he still has like good hitting tools and stuff. Like he's been playing pretty good, and his price is down. He was selling for about 200 stubs days ago. On the Marlins have Jesus Luzardo, and then maybe Luis Arias. But the thing is with Luis Arias, his defense sucks, and then he hits for no power. He hasn't been hitting for power in real life at all, really. He has like one home run, I think, and then he only hits like for contact, but his contact's already so high, like you can't really invest in him unless I just really wanted to like make his like discipline go up a bunch, which they should have his discipline a lot higher because he has great discipline, but they just don't do that. But maybe, his price, maybe he plays better defense this year. He switched to second base. Last year was first base, so I don't know. Maybe he plays better defense and they update his defense. Pete Alonso has been hitting like for power. He's like leading the league in home runs, I think, except he's maybe second, but he's been pretty good. There's really no one else on this team. Everyone else kind of sucks except David. No, David has been actually pretty solid, so maybe invest in him if you want to. Uh, Bryson Scott has been pretty good to start off the year, but his price is already so high, you can't really invest in him. Jose Alvarado's also been good, but to go up 5 overalls and be paying this much isn't really nice. And then Matt Starum, I think he's been actually good, but or that was the other guy that went to the White Sox, Mike Clevenger. Yeah, Mike Clevenger, who beat like his wife up or something. Yeah, he's been really good this year, but no one's gonna talk about him because he beat his wife. Lane Thomas, he's been hitting for average, but it's kind of like a harder investment for me to like uh grab onto, if you know what I mean. And then we have who is it I want to talk? Yeah, Jameer can I think this is who it is. Has been hitting for a crazy average. It's either him or it's not Keeper Ruiz. I'm pretty sure it's Rob Dolo or something on this team. He's been hitting for like crazy average, over 300. I forget what his name is, but he's been pretty good. Nico Horner has been also pretty good. I told people to invest in him. I didn't invest in him. I should have invested in him, but he's been hitting for average, and he had diamond defense last year, I thought. But he has silver defense. He really doesn't need much to go to an 82. As you can see, just he's +2 against righties on both power and contact. He goes 82, but I think he's definitely a guy who could go 83, 84 this update if he keeps it up. Ian Happ's also a pretty nice investment. Uh, I wish his defense was better, but he was a guy last year who's an all-star. He's playing like an all-star this year. Maybe they do him right and they make him gold early on. I mean, like, Jan Gomes ain't anywhere near as good as Ian Happ this year or last year, and he's a higher overall, which is outrageous. Uh, Marcus Stroman's been really good, but honestly, if he has like keeps having a 0 ERA, yeah, I'd buy him for even 350 because he's gonna go up a lot of overalls, and you're gonna miss out. But I can't do it right now. There's really no one else except like maybe Nick Lotto, but you can't really invest on anyone except maybe Alexis Diaz, who's been pretty good. And then like Nick Lotto's been very good. He leads the league in strikeouts, so his Ks per nine are definitely gonna go up. He's been giving up some runs though, but his Ks per nine should go up. Freddie Peralta's also been very good. His quick sell value is 400, and he's going for 520. So that just tells you how much people believe in him. This was a guy who we talked about like 2 years ago, going diamond consistently. He was even a guy last year we talked about a little bit, but then he got injured. He's back this year. He's striking guys out. That's really all he needs is strikeouts because he's got Ks per nine at 70, but then his hits per nines are at 89. I think his hits per nines may like stay the same or go up like a little bit or maybe down a little bit, but his Ks per nine are going to go up a ton. His BB slash nines are going to go up a ton, like cause his ERA. So he's definitely a guy I would like to invest in more, but I'm not gonna do it because I already have 115 of him. Brian Reynolds, like I said, has been doing good. David Bednar's been doing pretty solid. Andrew McCutchen's been hitting like close to 300. I think he's hitting over or under at the time of this recording. He was at like 302 the other day, but I think he played a game since then. I check on that. He's not a bad investment. Who is it on this team? There's a like, it's such a weird team the Cardinals are, but I don't really think I have anything on here except Lars Nootbaar. If he's hitting over 280, check that. I can't remember what he's hitting right now. If he's hitting over 280, invest him because he has gold defense and his price is cheap. Um, who was it on this team? I don't think I got anyone on this team. CJ Cron started off the year really hot. He's cooled down. Jonathan Daza's hitting over 300 like he usually is, but his power is so bad. It's sad. Don't know why I did that. And then the who was it on this team that was like pitching really good? It wasn't Blake Snell. It was like it's probably Yu Darvish was pitching really nice. He's been pretty good. So is Josh Hader. Xander's been good, but his price is just too high right now to invest in. But if he went down to like 1100, maybe invest in him then. Soto's been kind of eh. But yeah, so that's probably going to end the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. And then follow all my TikToks that I post these videos on. Because you're going to want to follow those. And yeah, peace.